Hey everyone, and welcome back for episode 6 of my M2 Road to Pro series. We are here today at Circuit de Lebanon for a race that truly started out looking promising. As you can see here on the starting grid, we managed to qualify P3 with a strength of field of 1998, with a real mix of rated drivers. It was going to be an interesting one. That I knew that from the start, but little did I know it would turn out how it did. But now, enough of that. Let's just jump straight into the race, because why not? So here we are on the grid. The lights are up and we're about to get underway, starting from P3. There they are, the lights are out and we get going. Sorry for the overlay in the top right, forget about that, it will sort itself out. Same as the relative on the right, it'll sort itself out after this first lap. But we get straight into the action there, with the driver in front, P2 Chad, taking that second position, not allowing me to make a move whatsoever. And now we've got to settle in behind him, but we are going to get put under all kinds of pressure from the driver behind, Colin Castella. Are we going to be able to keep him behind? Only time will tell. As we try to maintain this lap, we want to keep it nice and clean, no silly mistakes on the first lap, because that is just going to put you way behind in the pack when everyone's so closely packed together. So we got to keep it nice and clean. And we do not, like the previous race, want to show that our reputation is not worthwhile in this series. We've been doing decently well, or we started off well, but now we've dropped off a little bit. So we've got to get back into form, and we have with our qualifying. But now I've got to maintain this through to the end of the race to make sure I pick up all those vital points for the championship possible, and make sure I get promoted before the end of the season. Now we've head through the final couple corners and we have a little bit of a snap there of oversteer, as you can see, but I believe something has happened in the background. Something has gone on, an accident maybe, but all I heard was my engineer saying accident behind. But if you look up ahead, Chad has just gone incredibly wide there. Chad Sosanowski is going to be looking a little bit slow on the straight. Are we going to be able to capitalize? No, I think he's just a little bit too far ahead at the moment, and we've got to really focus on Colin behind, otherwise we are going to get into trouble. But now here it is. Here is later on that end of that lap. As we head up the hill, we go a little bit slow, which is going to allow Colin to get right onto the back of us. Is he going to go for the move? He's going to pull to the outside, and we are going a drag race down the main straight here. He's going to pull up halfway alongside our car. We're going to have to hold the inside and give him room on the outside, otherwise there will be contact. So we give him plenty of room, really slow on exit there, to make sure we don't squeeze him too wide. But in the end, he dives a little bit deep and runs a little bit wide in that exit there, and I'm able to cut across his nose and maintain my position. But what a little cheeky battle that was, and hopefully that is going to set up the rest of the race in terms of proving and making it a good race. Hopefully we can all race cleanly and good like that, because that always makes it much more enjoyable. But now we are still here on lap 3, and Colin is still behind. Chad and Josh up front, slowly pulling away. But now here's a replay then of that action. As you can see, Colin Castella on the outside, he goes for the move, he runs it almost right out of track limits there, but we keep it nice and tight, keeping it clean as well. I didn't squeeze him too much, but you can see he just bit off a bit more than he could chew on that exit there, trying to make the dive around the outside. And in the end, he has to sit behind us and wait for another time. But now here is the replay of the accident that happened on lap 1. As you can see, the yellow and green car that we're following gets caught up on the curb and he spins it round. And then he tries to rejoin. Does he collect anyone? No, not yet. But oh, he spun it again and... Right, well... If I was that car that just T-boned him, I would be fuming. Look at this. Here it is from his gyro. You can see the car in front just completely loses control of its rear, and... Well, thank goodness that's not me at the back of the pack. Let's just say that. But now we are on lap 4, and Colin Castella is still right on our tail and giving us a good old run for our money here. And it has allowed John Morandini behind him to catch up to us. But a little bit of contact there has forced Morandini in down the inside, or has allowed him down the inside, I should say. And Colin has now lost a position. He is now down into P5, and Morandini and myself now in the third, fourth place. But into the left hand, I run it a little bit deep, which is that going to give them an opportunity down the inside? No, it's not. But what it does do is allow Castella an opportunity down the inside of Morandini, who quickly closes the door and keeps him behind for now. But this racing is getting more intense, and it is only going to amplify. It is only going to get tougher and tougher as we go. As you can see, Morandini gets an absolute run out of that corner. We're going to hold the inside for the little left sweeper here, the little left kink, and he has to back out for now, but he's got a little bit of a switchback on us, and we're not going to be able to close the door quick enough. As you may have seen, a bit of contact there, but I tried to close the door, but I just wasn't quick enough, and that allowed Morandini down the inside. But now as I try to keep a tight line to give Castella room, he manages to get around the outside there after pouncing and following Morandini through, and that is us down 2 positions, all because of one vital mistake, running it a little bit deep after the quick corner, and well, that is us down into P5, but they are still within range, and there is still plenty laps to go, with 4 minutes still on the cards. Are we going to be able to get the move done? Well, only time will tell as we try to follow Colin Castella through, but he runs it a little bit deep, which we, on a better line, managed to make the most of as we dart down the inside, and we're going to go for the move. We dive down the inside. We are up in front. We are way clear of him. But on exit, he gives us a little tap, and Castella's turned us around. He has turned us around, and we are facing the completely wrong direction. I have nowhere to go. I have to wait for all the cars to go past, and then spin myself back around to get back on track. And look at that. We have gone from P5, and then technically P4 as we overtook Castella into P10, and we are now out of the championship points. But I use my luck, and I dive back down the inside of Aristibal, and we are into P9. But what a shocker that was. There was no way he needed to make that contact. No way at all. He did apologize straight away, but at the end of the day, he managed to keep racing. He's still in P5, and I'm back here in P9. But you can see here, he runs it a little bit deep, and he has to brake mid-corner to try and correct it. That allowed me to get right onto his tail, so he darted down the inside and made the dive, and we get way in front of him. Look at that. We are over a car length ahead, and he just doesn't see that I'm still there. Or, I mean, he saw me, but he just decided to keep his foot to the floor or something, and he ended up tapping me around. I had to wait for all those cars to go by. I ended up losing 4 or even 5 positions there. 5, but I managed to get the 4th one back straight away. But you can see he just turned straight into us. I don't think he even really came off throttle until he had nowhere to go. So I think he should have been a little bit more careful there. But now we head on to the final lap, and we have been hunting Brandon Bolton in front down for laps and laps. Every lap since that accident, we've been hunting him down. But look at the TV cam up on the right. This is Colin on another driver called John Trishista, and they are going into the hairpin, and he makes a little bit of contact, and he spun him round. That is a little bit delayed, I apologize, but that is what happened up ahead. So Colin has taken out yet another driver, and that means we are still going to be P8, but John is just up ahead, and that it just shows that maybe it's not that he was sorry, it's just he's unaware. He's just not the greatest driver in those circumstances. I'm not sure, but he needs to get that sorted out. But we've got to forget about that as we are on the back of Brandon Bolton here. We're currently getting 1 championship point, but with this being the final lap and Brandon not being the quickest driver at all, I want to make the most of this. I want to get the overtake. I've been hunting him down for about 3-4 laps now, and this has been my opportunity as he runs it a little bit wide, and I'm going to force him, make him think I'm going for the move, force him wide, tuck down the inside, and get up a position and cut across his nose a little bit there to make sure he has nowhere to go. And we are up into P7 on the final lap with that overtake, and it may not seem like much, but 1 point to 2 points is a pretty big difference, and it is a good outcome of this pretty shocking race. What looked like it was going to be good and turned out to not be that way at all. But now, here are the results from that race then. As you can see, Haynes did end up finishing in P1 with Sosnowski, who we were following, in P2. Morandini came across in P3, followed by Nittel and Trishita. But then I came back in P7, getting me 2 points for the championship. But sadly, I did lose 10 iRating and 0.06 safety rating, so not the greatest outcome at all, considering I was there in the fight for the podium place, and I think I would have easily been able to hold off Colin after that move and hold on to P4. And I probably could have held off Morandini if I hadn't made that earlier mistake. But hey, that is racing, and that has been round 7 of the M2 Cup, which is episode 6 of the series. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and thank you for all the support you've been giving me recently, even when I've been a little bit slow for uploads and everything like that. I try my best to keep into a routine, but recently I've been losing a little bit of interest in iRacing, still wanting to race, but also getting into my flight sims. So I'm sorry about that, but I'll catch you guys next time for episode 7 of my Road to Pro series, which will hopefully turn out a little better than this week.